Pack Expo Chicago. We are on day 3, and it's been a great show for us so far. And last topic in the series of presentations is selecting the right packaging equipment. There's 3 questions you have to ask yourself when you get into a packaging machine. And at the show, everything you see here, everybody's trying to put something into a package. But at the end of the day, they're all exactly the same questions you have to ask. And the first question is what style of package are you wanting to put something in? The next one is what characteristics of the product you have. And the last one is what kind of performance are you looking for? At Magnum, what kind of package, what's your product, and what's your performance requirements? So when you look at the first question, what style of package do you have? There's 2 styles. There is what we call a form and fill type package, which is the package is actually made at the very second that you're getting ready to fill it. So you actually make the package and you're doing your filling all at the same time. A classic example is a potato chip bag. Sealed at the back, the bottom, the top, and up the back. You actually make that container the second before you fill it. Usually this is consumer style packaging. The other type of package is what we call a preformed container. Think of it as a package that you buy from somebody else, ship into your facility, and fill it. These consist of valve bags, open mouth bags, boxes, drum, pails, anything you buy somewhere else and bring it in to fill. That is a preformed container. So you either have the container you make right there or the container you buy and bring in. The next P in packaging is what are the characteristics of your product. A lot of times people get this process backwards, but we like to think that picking a packaging machine is a lot like getting married. A lot of men think that they picked their wives, when the reality of it is their wives picked them. They just didn't realize it when they were going through the dating process. But packaging's a little bit the same way. Don't let the machine, your mindset go, I want this kind of machine and I'm going to work it. The reality is look at your product first. And the reason for this is because a lot of people also have this misnomer that the scale instrument is kind of the most important thing on a packaging machine. What is its accuracy, what is its resolution, what is its sampling rate, all the bells and whistles that you can put into a scale device, that's what's important. But that's not true. The reality of what makes a good packaging machine is what's inside the machine. It's the brains, it's the program that's inside of it that has to run, that controls everything. And that program needs one thing. It needs consistency. And that's really where, so when we're looking at a packaging application, we're looking at the product, what we're trying to do is actually come up with what is the most consistent feed device. So how many pounds per second are going into the scale so that the little computer brain can actually figure out what to do next. So when you're looking at packaging machinery, the thing is the feed device. What is the most accurate, consistent feed device that you can get? And when it comes to our machines, these are the kind of options that we have. You got gravity, you've got augers and screw conveyors, you got belt conveyors, vibratory trays, rotor valves. These are all feed devices, and the question is which one works best. Now, we actually love our gravity fillers because there's nothing more consistent than gravity. And here's a bunch of materials that work well on gravity machines. And if you think about any of these products, if you put it into a hopper and you had a hole at the bottom and you let your hand go, it would flow out of that hopper, and it would flow out of it a very consistent and repeatable flow rate. Those kind of products work well on our gravity machines. Then we have products like this. These products, if you put them in a hopper and you open it up the bottom, some of it might flow out, and it might flow out some of the time, but it doesn't flow out all of the time. So we tend to use the screws and augers on these type of materials. That way they can deliver a nice consistent flow amount. And then we have our belt and vibratory feeders. And here what you look at is big, irregular shaped products. Now, frozen shrimp's a great example, meatballs, stuff like that. Stuff that it does flow off of a tray or off of a belt at a very consistent, repeatable, but a screw would beat it up, and they're too big and they're too irregular shaped to work gravity. So these work well on our vibratory and belt feeders. The last question, the last P in the three Ps is what kind of performance are you looking for? Two things about performance. Number one is rate and accuracy are independent of each other. The faster you go, the less accuracy you're going to have. If you need accuracy, you better slow down. And the other thing about performance is that even though every one of our scales works on pounds or kilograms, the reality is everything's volumetric. A pound of lead is different than a pound of feathers. And when you're trying to weigh up a pound of lead or a pound of feathers, you got to understand it takes a lot longer to get the feathers because it's so much lighter. The other part of performance is looking at the scaling instrument is either a net weigh machine or a gross weigh machine. And net weigh is always going to be faster because I'm doing two processes. I'm actually weighing something while I'm putting a bag underneath it and getting it prepared. But net weigh machines usually only work on very free-flowing materials. You got a powder or something sticky, forget net weigh. You're going to be a gross weigh scale. Gross weigh scales, best thing about them is that you put the bag on there, you tear it out, and you start filling it. You know exactly what went into that bag because you just weighed it. It's always going to be slower though. But net weigh, gross weigh are two of the choices you have to make looking at it. So at the end of the day, three things, three P's of packaging. What kind of package am I putting it in? What are the characteristics of my product? And what kind of performance do I need at the end of the day? Why it didn't go forward? If you have any questions, please get a hold of us. Get on our website, good information out there, or give us a call. Thank you.